You can save text styles in the same way that we saved dimension styles in previous videos. And it's a very useful thing to do, of course, because it does increase production speed significantly. So let's take a look at how to do that. Now on the screen I have my text styles box, and I'm using an Arial font at the moment with a height and width of 1. Justification is left top, and the spacing is 0.5 as it was previously. So let's save this style. Same procedure as dimensions. Click on New Style, and title pops into place. Let's give it a name. Let's call this one Arial, and we'll call it 12 inches. Enter to set it, and the style highlights waiting to be saved. So let's make sure we save it. Click on the save icon. The style is saved. Very simple, very straightforward. Now let's say you want to build up a whole series of Arial font for different text sizes. Instead of changing the style attributes as they are on the screen right now, let's do this a slightly different way. Let's go down to the Arial 12 and right-click, and we'll copy. So the style is copied, and by the way, you can use the copy icon here if you prefer. Let's change this to Arial, and we'll make it 6 inch. And enter. Waiting to be saved. Now, of course, we need to go across and change everything here. So that now becomes 6 inches. Automatically 6 inches for the width too, since I'm locked to both height and width. And it needs to be saved. But let's change something else too. Let's add a color to this particular font. Let's make it red. So now the font is red, and we can see the sample of it in the display box at the bottom. Let's save that. Click on the save. And now we have 2 styles. Let's do a third one. Use this button first. We'll use the 6 inch as a base. Click on save. We'll call this one Arial 3. And of course we need to change the values here to 3. Tab down and lock in the 3 inches and 3 inches. Needs to be saved, so we'll save it. So now I have 3 styles saved. Let's see how these work in practice. I'm going to dismiss the styles box. I'm going to start the place text tool. Arial is already in place because that's the style we just set. But if we hit the text style button here, we'll see that we have available our 3 new text styles. And we can select any one we want. Let's start with the Arial 12. So we'll select that. That pops into place. Height and width show up as 1 foot, as they should do. And we can place text with this style. So I'm just going to type something in here, doesn't matter what, and place it. And let's zoom in to see what we've got here. So there's our Arial 12 inch text. Let's switch to Arial 3 inches. Everything changes. Let's place some more text. Again, I'm just typing any old thing and drop it into place there. Going to hit the element selection tool so we can see the difference. So obviously very quick to switch between styles and therefore very efficient. Now, having used a style, that doesn't mean that you're stuck with it from now onwards. Let's take a look at the Place Text tool settings window. Right now we're using the Arial 3. Let's go to Arial 6. We don't necessarily have to accept everything that we see here. For example, I might want to change the aspect ratio of the text and go from a height of 6 inches to a width of, say, 4 inches. And I will hit Tab to select that. Now I've gone out of the style, as it were, but I will still place the text with these attributes. Notice that the text style and the width are now both highlighted because I've gone out of the set style. That's just to remind me that I'm not using the actual style, but I can place text using those parameters. There. Now, while we're here, a couple of other things. I can go back to the text styles box by clicking on the magnifying glass item. That will open my text styles box for me again. Notice that Arial 6 has been compromised because I've changed the attributes here. It needs to be addressed. I will get rid of that for the moment though. This icon will reset the style back to its original. So if I click that, everything goes back to its original. I've got 6 and 6, not 6 and 3. The highlighting has disappeared, meaning that I'm back to my original style. One other item too, this tick box here, apply changes to all text, is on. And what this means is that if I have text in my text editor, let's throw some text in. If I select a different attribute, then all the text in this box will change to that attribute. So any more text I type will have the attribute because this is ticked. If I now add an extra attribute, underline, now all the text is underlined in the box. If I take this off, then any new text that I enter in the box here won't have these attributes if I turn them off. No underlining and no italic. So this is more of an editing feature, although obviously you can place new text using this option. And one last thing in the box here, text node lock at the bottom. We'll discuss text nodes shortly in the next video. Let's move on to some extra items. Going back to dismiss the text tools. I'm going to open my text styles box again. And the first thing I want to look at is the Advanced tab. Click on that. And this gives me a complete list of every option available to me in the attribute settings for a text style. Some of these are not in the tabs themselves, but most are. And here I can see exactly what's been set. Normally you don't need to use these unless you're looking for something very specific. Take a look through the items and see how they correspond with the settings which are existing under the tab system. The Background tab allows us to put a background color behind a text string. For example, click on the background. Background is white. Let's change that to, say, green. We don't particularly want a border, so we'll leave it as it is. And in the display box, we see how the text should look when placed. So I'll move this out of the way for the second. Bring the text tools back in again. Place some text. Drop it down. And there we have text with a background. Not perfect, as you can see. The bottom of the G's are kind of hanging out. But that's the system. Now, in addition to all of this, of course, we can also import styles, as we did with dimensions, and it works exactly the same way. We've changed the Arial 6 style, so I'll simply say yes to it for the moment. Let's import some fonts. Up to Style and Import, and it will open up the Text Import box, which simply gets me out to my list of files, and I have a specific design file here which is strictly for styles. All that's in that design file is, in this case, just dimension styles and text styles. There are no elements in this design file at all, and I only use it to import the styles in this design file into my current design file. So I'll click on that. And immediately I have extra styles. I have my original Arial 12, 3, and 6. I have 3 new ones, Architectural 12, Architectural 3, Architectural 6, and a title style, Colonna title 18 inches. Every style in that style.dgn file will be imported into my current working file. And one last item. If I want to make a wholesale change of all text in a particular style to that of another style, I can do this actually very simply. Let's work with the Arial 6, which is currently set, and that's the one that's giving us the background color right now. Let's say I want to change that to Architectural 6. All text in the drawing with Arial 6 will change to Architectural 6. What I do is right-click on the Arial style, click on the Remap item, and then it says, which style would you like to change to? I'm going to the Arch 6. And it wants to know if I'm sure about that because it's going to change all text in the drawing. I say OK. And this particular piece of text has now changed to the Arch 6 style from the original Arial 6 with a background color. Now remember, every piece of text with the Arial 6 has now changed to the Architectural 6. Now again, this may or may not be what you want, but it is a very powerful whole drawing tool. As always, please go and practice. Make up your own styles design with just styles in, nothing else, and practice bringing those styles into your existing drawing, and cover the points that we've been discussing and try some examples yourself.